Hey, what's going on, guys? Um, I'm just gonna go over real quick, um, go over kind of why this move happened right here, why this move happened, and kind of the the price action that led to that, right? Let's get down to it. Firstly, like I've always said, I look for only one-on-one pattern, and that is a shift in market structure. So going on low time frame, we notice that prices making a high, lower low, higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high, right? Lower high. So we're going to watch out for this low, right? But before it even gets here, we're going to look for patterns that show us a shift in market structure, and I'm going to show you, right? Now, if we had none of that price action right there, and we're only looking at this move right here, what are we looking for, right? Like, that's a question I always ask, is that what am I looking for in order for it to continue higher, right? Like, what do I need to see in order for it to continue higher? And clearly there is an imbalance right here. From here to here, there's a clear imbalance right there. So when I look at that, I'm waiting for price to come back to that, right? Once it takes out the liquidity here, what I was doing was I was waiting for it to get to here to see what it does. Now when it gets here, I'm looking for, right, if it wants to continue higher, as soon as it touches that, I'm looking for a break in market structure, right? Like the two leg, right? And then make a higher high. And on this third one, I'm going to enter for the long buy, right? That's what I was looking for. But I was waiting for confirmation, and I was also aware that gold is at all-time high and the dollar is buying right now. So I knew there's a possibility for a sell. So I was waiting for potential reversal, but I was overall biased for a buy. Now, once it gets here, right? Once it gets here, like I said, as soon as it gets here, I was looking for what? A bounce, retest, and then a high. Now it didn't do that, as you can see. Came back, tried to make a high, it failed, and what did it do? I made a low. So this immediately confirmed it for me that this is not going up right now. Like this is going to come at least for this low right here. That's the confirmation I got, and that's all I needed, to be honest. Because if price was to continue higher, there's no reason for it to come to these lows, right? Like, you might say there's an order block right here, right? No, like, price does not need to come that low in order for it to continue higher. That's, for me at least, that's way too deep for it to come back. So that's all I needed to see, is that a break of this right here, right? A break of that, and all I was looking for was a retest for entry. Now, if you did wait for um if you did wait for it to kind of show you what it does at this order block, right? Let's say you waited until what price did, right, when it reached here. Again, you got another confirmation because it made a bounce at this right here. When it came back right here, it should have made a high. If it wanted to continue higher, it should not have broken another low right here. So there's really so many confirmations right here showing you that price is biased toward the sell. Now, hopefully, you are somebody who kind of focuses on their strategy rather than wanting the market to do a certain thing, right? Like, for example, before I used to try to force a market to come higher, right? Like, when it bouncing off of here, I would enter as soon as it got here, and then I would like hold with no stop loss until the market like would come up here. Most of the time, as you can see, like, it would destroy my whole account. So what I've learned to do is wait until I get a confirmation, a shift in market structure for me to get an entry. right here, like this is one confirmation, another break, a confirmation. And once you get the confirmation, right, like as soon as I got the confirmation right here, all I was looking for was look for imbalance, which is right here, and get an entry. Like, and it has to be between my time range. In this case, it wasn't. Like I trade between 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. So unfortunately, this was at 3 a.m. during London session. So I didn't enter, but if I was trading, I would enter like this, right? Stop loss would be right above there. And TP, like I said, is going to be below here. That's what I would have done during a London session if I was up. But since I don't trade a London session, New York session, right, coming into 7 a.m. right there, this already gave me the confirmation that it wants to go down, right? It's all about just finding an entry. So really, London session always kind of sets up the market structure for price to continue higher or lower. So in this case, it's been giving us multiple confirmations that it wants to go lower. So there's a lot of confluences for the sell that had happened. A lot of confluences, and we had a sell. We had a really impulse sell, and this sell is also very clear. Let me show you why. I'm going to go on a 4 hour and show you once the sell happened. Let me get rid of that. Once this sell happened, what happened between this high and this low right here? There's a huge imbalance, right? A very huge imbalance. So when price came back up, all you're doing is you're watching price. You're watching if price wants to continue higher, or if it breaks market structure and continue lower. So all you need to do is watch for market structure, right? As soon as it reaches the high probability area, we have anticipated price doing something. We wait for market structure to break, right? This low, this low made this high right here. Now, as long as we're in this range, we don't really care what happens, right? We want to see a break out of this range in order for us to confirm like a price going in certain direction. So all you need to do is wait, right? Wait until market structure breaks. Until this breaks, we still want to buy. So in this case, as you can see, a wick, and then we came back up, boom, fully. Now you can wait until this breaks, but what I like to do, like to have a tighter entry, is always look for internal market structure to break, right? Like this low made this high right here. Therefore, internal market structure should not be broken unless it wants to come to all the way to this low. So when market came back right here and failed to break and came back up, this should have technically, if it wants to continue higher, it should respect this low and continue higher, right? Like this should have made a higher high. But what do we see? We see a break. As soon as I see that break, I'm entering on the next imbalance, which is, as you could clearly see right here between this candle and this candle, there's this wick. I would have entered on that wick, 30 pips stop loss, and my TP is going to be again right below here. For now, like the main TP would be right there, and main TP would be right below here, but it also gave us now a confirmation for potentially to come to this low, right? Because it broke the long-term market structure within this little pullback we had. This was the main low that should have been respected in order to continue on, but we broke it. So on this retest, we're looking for, let's say we're looking for an entry to continue lower to come to this low, right? What do we need to see in this retest? In order for us to continue lower, what confirmation do we need to see? That's very simple, and I'm going to go on a lower time frame to show you. Right, so That would have been our first entry, right? We see an internal market structure, right? Like we had a low that made a high, and we also have internal market structure like this low, this mini low right there, that gave us this high. So as soon as market gets to our area of interest, right, in this case there's clear order block right there, all we need to do is, like I said, is watch for market structure, right? Wait until a breaks or shifts in market structure happens. In this case we had a little bounce, boom, retest. Now this should have made a higher high if we wanted to continue. Yeah, we have some imbalance all around here, but if this makes a second leg right there, that should give us a confirmation to come to at least area of like this low or around this area. But this is a 1 minute time frame, and it wouldn't be worth taking the risk. So in this case I wouldn't enter. I would just wait until what it does, because there's a lot of imbalance right here. It could easily just bounce and go from here, right? So I would have waited. But when it just ran through this whole imbalance right here, this, when it just ran through it, I would be concerned, and I would be looking for continuation of taking out this low right here. I would definitely be looking for that. So in this scenario, I just need an entry area, right? And it's very simple. This is the easiest thing, is you just need to find imbalance, order block, anything. Um, Once you have the direction confirmed, right? Once you know it's going to come here, you just need something to get you entry. And in this case, as you can see, like there's a tiny imbalance right here. Remove that. A tiny imbalance between this low and this high. Look what it did as soon as it got there. Boom, boom. Yeah, so you can always find more entries. The only thing you need to be concerned about is making sure you have the direction correctly, right? Once you know that it's going to come lower, it's all about just finding like imbalance, order block, anything, and then you need to wait once it gets here, right? Once it gets to that imbalance, right? Like for example, when it gets here, technically you shouldn't just enter as soon as it gets here. You should confirm that it's going to respect this imbalance, and you do that by waiting for market structure to build. And in this case, you just wait until everything is fulfilled, right? Like there's an imbalance right here that it could technically use to make a high. So you need to wait until, you need to see what it does, right? As soon as it gets here, right when this wick came into this imbalance and try to make a high and fails to, and breaks lower, you just need to enter. Like you're not going to get any more confirmation than that, because now you know that it's not going to respect this imbalance to continue higher. So when this break happens, find imbalance, boom, stop loss right above, TP below here, and boom, right? Like you just need to kind of really learn how market turns, right? Like that's the only thing you can do in this market, is that learn to read how market shifts, right? When market is making a turn, for example right here, when this sell happened, or when this buy happened, or when this little sell happened, and then this long-term buy happened, like at every turning point there's a pattern, right? There's a creates a, it uses the same pattern when it's making a turn. So you need to learn how the market makes its turn, how, like when it's getting ready to shift into certain direction. You need to learn to see that clearly and identify entries and be able to take on the opportunities that it's giving you, right? And that's it. Like that's helped me personally a lot. I've Once I started kind of like learning like what does it do in order for the market to turn, right? Like right before a sell or a buy, what kind of pattern does it create? Like once you kind of have that mindset and kind of like learning on your own, like really be interested to see like what makes it tick, like what makes it switch market structure, what makes it go from like a buy, like this whole buy, and then make a turn and have like a short term sell, and then be able to turn and then continue. Like what kind of pattern is it creating, right? So I don't want to make this video too long. Like every video is gonna be the same, to be honest with you, like because I use the same pattern. Like what makes a market turn, right? Like for example, in this case, like it's making a low, a high, a lower low, and but internally there's an internal market structure, right? Like there's a low right here, lower high, lower low, right? Like there's an internal market structure that is happening. So price is fractal. Every time frame is creating its own pattern. So you need to be able to pick 3 4 time frames and learn how they correlate to each other, but also find entries on individual, right? Like on each of them separately, be able to identify like opportunities on a 4 hour time frame and be able to take a short term for like a 5 minute time frame entry. So in this case, as you can see, market was making low, high, and then what do? We respected this low. Remember, wick doesn't count. Wick is just grabbing liquidity, and it made a high, lower high, and then boom. And finally, when this happened right here, that's confirmed that we're obviously changing market structure, and the only thing you need to look for is a buy. But so that's it. I did not take these trades, unfortunately. Funding Pip did not give me my account yet. They're still uh, having the process and kind of connecting to the funded account, but I should have my funded account by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and I'm gonna be excited because now we have a range to trade. When it was continuing higher, there was nothing to kind of look off of because this is all time high. But since gold is coming back down, we have a range. That means there's gonna be a lot of opportunities, a lot of entries, a lot of good market structure to be taken advantage of. So I'm excited for next week. And that's it for this video. Catch you all next time.